William, I'm so much interested to asking you very interesting questions because it's your favorite subject, writing. How are you feeling when you are writing? What your body language, your mind, your thought going when you are writing? So I want your insight on this topic.
Yeah, writing for me, there's a lot of joy in it, but it's not what most people would expect. It's kind of like wrestling with myself. So usually, I collect ideas quite frequently, like some people collect stamps, and every day I'll kind of browse through those ideas, and one will jump out at me. Say pick me, and so that I never face a blank page. So that's the first important thing when in terms of writing for me is I don't want to face a blank page. I always want to start with an idea that I already have, which is why I collect them every day. And then I start writing, and that's when the wrestling match begins, right? So I'm thinking about my life, my experiences, and I'm trying to put that on in writing. In the process of doing that, I'm better understanding, right, my life, my experience, and what are the lessons I've taken from it, because that's what I'm trying to write about. I'm trying to distill that knowledge into the wisdom that I gained. And so it's a grappling match between kind of where I am and my former self that I'm trying to speak to, and then what it all means. And there's always resistance. Like anytime you do something of value, and writing is of great value to me, there's internal resistance to I don't want to do this anymore, especially when it gets a little hard, but I just lean into it. And that's the moment that I like the most, is when I'm really leaning into that discomfort, because that's where all the answers are, right? All the answers are in those dark little places that you're usually afraid to go. And for me, writing is my way to explore those areas. And I get a great amount of pleasure, especially afterwards, when I finish it and I'm going back and reading through it, I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. I love that. I love that insight. Now I better understand it myself, right? And in the process of writing, other ideas start sparking off as well. I'll start writing about, the other day I wrote about how falling down is actually a good thing. And while writing about it, I got all these other interesting ideas just from the process of writing. So the act of doing something like writing, and the sparks that are created by facing discomfort and difficulty in the act of doing it, that's where all the growth comes from for me. That's where all the insights, that's where all the wisdom comes from. I always say that wisdom is knowledge distilled through action. And for me, writing does that quite a bit, right? Because in the act of writing, I'm distilling all that knowledge and experience I have into wisdom that's worth sharing with other people. So I take great joy in that part of it. So it's not joy like, hey, I'm happy while I'm writing. It's the things that come out of it that bring me joy, the insights that come out of it, the distilling of my experience into something worth saying and sharing. And then, of course, the act of sharing what I create is also immensely a joyful experience to me. And particularly because of the engagement I get from other people. When they value something I've written that I've shared with them, and then they share with me their perspective, their experiences, their ideas. And that just feeds back into my creative process of writing and makes my writing better.
Thank you.
Can anybody out there hear me? Hear me?